All right, start with story number one here. Obviously, plenty of teams are clinching and being eliminated from, the NFL playoffs. But Justin Herbert and the Chargers clinched a playoff spot Monday with a big win over the Colts on the road. So first of all, what are your thoughts on the Chargers and their outlook going forward?
It's a little uncertain, but I at least expected a playoff berth, right? So
that was bare minimum for me.
So that's a check. At least Brandon Staley gets to stay in Los Angeles for a little bit longer and coach the Chargers. But I think going forward, they do have some glaring issues. Like you mentioned, their weapons aren't all that reliable all of the time.
Right.
So Justin Herbert's forced to do a lot more than I think he should be. Plus, when they can't get the running game going, they seem to stall out a little bit. The AFC is wildly competitive, though. So I think into the playoffs, they maybe squeak out and win a game, but I don't see them going all that far this year.
So, just because we have a little bit of time, let's just look at the AFC quarterbacks. Right, so let's go top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Don't even worry about conference. So what? Probably like Mahomes 1. I'll go Burrow 2, Allen 3, Herbert 4,
Jalen somewhere in there.
Jalen Hurts somewhere in there. I'd say Rodgers somewhere in there.
Yeah. Lamar when he's healthy.
But Trevor Lawrence right now.
T-Law, yeah.
Who else? Dak I'll probably throw in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know who else. Either way, so out of those 9, 6 of them are in the AFC playoffs.
Yes. So it's going to be a tough road to get
because Lamar will be back, Burrow will be back, or Burrow's in. Mahomes obviously, Herbert now, T-Law leads the division, he's in.
It's going to be tough.
That's insane.
It's going to be tough. So
that's insane.
That's why I'm not quite sure what to think about them going forward. I think they have the potential. They have a high ceiling, but then they also just have pitfalls that you can't have in such a highly competitive conference.
Right. I don't know. See how it goes. Story number 2 here. As previously mentioned, the Denver Broncos have parted ways with Nathaniel Hackett after 15 games. The team was a disastrous 4-11 under Hackett, finishing his time there with a 51-14 shelling of a loss to the Rams on what was that, Sunday?
Yeah.
On Christmas, not a very good present. He gets fired, obviously, Monday, I think.
Yeah.
Like right after that. It did not take long, of course. We didn't expect it to. Is there, in recent memory, a worse tenure of a coach?
I don't think so. You come in unproven. You
take what was a Hall of Fame quarterback.
What you think is like, a really good MVP level quarterback and somebody that you can, kind of build a team around, and he just, with everything on his side, couldn't get it done. So, I think the best thing that Denver has done all year is fire Hackett. So now you need to look for the right guy at the helm. You need to go offensive first of all, because that's
I'd go experience.
Offensive head coach.
Hear me out. Jason Garrett. No, I know you think it's crazy.
I could hear the argument.
He won the division for years with Dallas. Now, it was a little bit of a mess. But, look what he did with Daniel Jones. Now, obviously, they moved on. But when he had Daniel Jones for, I think, a year or two in New York as the offensive coordinator, there was a year where he had like 2 fumbles in the last 8 games or something like that. He was able to stop the turnover issue with Daniel Jones. So, look, sounds crazy.
They need answers in Denver.
We want to go offensive. You probably should go for experience. That's not just floating around in the market.
No, yeah, you can't go for somebody that has to come in and prove themselves again, because that just crashed and burned.
Oh, Sean Payton. Sean Payton wants no part of that job. No part of that job.
Mm-mm. If I'm Sean Payton, I'm going for the Dallas job when
the Dallas
that
job
eventually
if
open.
that goes. If they decide to move off Brandon Staley, which I don't think they will now that they got to the playoffs, but I wouldn't pick Denver. Because Sean Payton, he's making good money and has a really good job with Fox. So he doesn't even have to get a job this offseason. He can wait around again for another cycle.
He can be picky. He can pick and choose.
And he should be picky.
Yes. But this Denver situation, they are screwed with the money they're paying Russ. They can't really get rid of him. We were talking a little bit before we started. What do? You are so stuck. If you are the head coach inheriting that, we've graded the coaching vacancies. We'll probably do that again this year. So this has to be bottom, right? Like this has to be like F. Like you don't want to go in here.
No. That's why I think Jason Garrett, because he's kind of viewed that he's not a very good coach. I think he's actually a pretty good coach.
But he could play fix-it guy.
He could play fix-it guy, turn it around, get you to 9-8 within 2 years. And then you move off him for a better, younger coach who actually wants to go there, who has more potential.
You are in a division with Mahomes. You're in a division with Herbert. Like, you don't have time to sit around and wait. You have to go get this talent now.
Jason Garrett's respected. He brings the temperature in the room down. I don't think it's a crazy idea. Either way, story number 3 here. North Carolina stud quarterback Drake May, rumored to have received 2 separate $5+ million a year offers from other schools if he transferred. Now, does this not fall under the tampering umbrella? And if it does, like, what is the NCAA going to do about this behavior?
They don't have any, like, guidelines or any framework set up.
If they're in the portal, that's one thing. If you're trying to poach guys that are firmly in another program, that's another. That's tampering.
Yeah.
That you have to put your foot down on something, right?
You have to draw a line. You have to set boundaries. Because this NIL thing, I love it. I
love the NIL.
I love that players can get paid for this. Fantastic. But there has to be some sort of guardrail. There has to be some sort of precedent set where there are things that you can do and things that you can't do. And because it's not in the writing, I feel like the college football is just kind of going to let them go.
I agree. I don't
think is the best way to do it.
You have to do something about the tampering. That's a problem. If he actually got $5 million a year offers probably from an SEC school, I would imagine.
Probably from a coach that last name rhymes with Aben.
Maybe. I would go more, what about Jimbo Fisher?
Ah.
Now, hear me out, right? They went 4-8. He's trying to kind of save his job a little bit. They had an awful year. He's been down in recruiting a little bit. People are transferring away.
Yeah. I don't know.
Throw a little money.
Either way, it's not the right thing, and college football needs to put a stop to it, like, immediately.
I agree. One good thing about college football is the playoffs. So story number 4 here. I guess this is the last episode before the college football playoffs. So let's go ahead and make our predictions. So we got, Michigan and TCU at 4 o'clock on ESPN, followed by Ohio State and Georgia at 8 o'clock, also on ESPN. So I'll go ahead and take Michigan over TCU. And then I'm going to go with the upset here, Ohio State over Georgia, and I'll take Michigan over Ohio State in the rematch of the game.
Okay, I like Georgia.
Georgia?
I think it's going to be Michigan, Georgia. And I'm not 100% set on who wins that because that's going to be
a good game.
That's going to be fantastic.
If they do meet, that would be a good game. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it probably will end up like that. I don't know. I don't know if Ohio State has it.
I don't know. We'll see. It's a total guess. Being a little ballsy out there. So
either way, a new face. We don't have the Crimson Tide in it, which is I think a win. That's a win for all of college football.
Feels good to see TCU and Max Duggan. That's a good story. He's an NFL quarterback. I'm not sure he's a starter, but he's an NFL quarterback.
And TCU making it in is way better of a watch than like when Cincinnati made it in.
100%. Yeah, they'll compete.
I think they actually have a pretty good shot, and they'll at least be really, really competitive with Michigan. But I like Michigan overall in that game.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's about all we got for the news there.